Hello. Welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I'll be guiding you on this journey. And this journey is going to be a little bit different because we're going to do a look ahead to 2024. I've been doing these readings and every single one of them has been so effing cool. And I love the vibe that is coming through with them. So like I said, it's more of like an overview for the year. It could be energy that you're feeling now. It could be energy that you're, of course, looking forward to. So it is a 7-card spread, and I'll just kind of go through what those 7 positions are, and then I might put a key just on this side of the screen. Maybe, I don't know. I'll try it and see how it looks. And if it looks dumb, I'm not going to do it. So if you don't see it, then it looked dumb. But, and if you're like me, you may not even watch the actual video, but more just listen to it and do a bunch of other stuff or play games on your phone or something. That's what I do when I watch videos or listen to videos. So it may not matter to you anyway, unless of course you do actually watch the actual video instead of just listening to it. So the first position is clarity, what your personal theme for 2024 will be. The second position is the horizon, what you can expect in 2024. Third position is strength, how to harness your inner power. Fourth position is sunset, what you're leaving behind in 2023. Advice, the lesson that you learned in 2023 is the 5th position. The 6th position is the obstacle or challenge you'll face in 2024. And then lastly, the 7th position is navigation, and that's guidance for the year ahead. So that's what we're going to do this time around. And all right. So this is the reading for the 2-4 human design profile. If you don't know your profile, there's a link in the description below to get your human design body graph. And your profile will be one of many bits of information on there for you to explore your unique design. But for the purposes of these readings, we are just going off of your profile. You don't have to know anything about human design in order to watch the videos. We might talk about strategy and authority, but even so, it's not going to affect the message of the reading anyway. So even if it's just an introduction because you've never even heard of human design, great. Perfect. So I'm just going to shuffle a few times here while I talk, and we'll cut the deck twice. We'll take the middle pile, and then we'll take the top 7 cards off of the middle pile. So I'm just going to shuffle with intention, and we'll get started. All right. 1, 2. So your personal theme for 2024 is the 5 of Swords. Horizon, what you can expect in 2024 is the Ace of Cups. How to harness your inner power is the Ace of Swords. What you are leaving behind in 2023 is the 8 of Swords. The lesson that you learned in 2023 is the Page of Swords. A challenge you'll face in 2024 is the 5 of Wands. And guidance for the year ahead is the 8 of Cups. Interesting. Look at all these swords. What in the world? So I feel like a couple interesting things here. There's 2 5s, 2 aces, and 2 8s. I feel like the odds of that happening are pretty slim. And honestly, I just love when stuff like that happens anyway. So, like the only odd man out here, and that's just because it's a 7 card spread, is the Page of Swords. So, yeah, I mean, let's get into it. So your personal theme for 2024 is the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords, 5s in general talk about conflict and maybe even a bit of competition. And we can see in this card, and on it says you can't be right all the time. On this card, there's 3 people. 2 of them are walking away. 1 of them has their back to the other 2. Right? Well, I guess they all have their back to each other, but the message behind this card is that there might have been an argument, and it's like nobody was listening to each other. You know, it's like when we kind of get in that mindset of we're gonna do what we want to do, and nobody can tell us any different. You know, I mean, like I feel like there's a time and a place for that, but also, and it's interesting because the other 5 that we have on the table, and we'll get to it anyway, is that a good coven lets every witch have their say. So it's interesting that I feel like and this is in a challenge position. The 5 of Wands is in the challenge position. So, it seems like with this card being the card that's coming out for your personal theme for the year, it's kind of like, you know, you have an idea, because that's what swords are. It's about our minds, our thoughts, our ideas, inspiration. I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego, is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, to feelings, whether they're true or not, and whether they're even our stories or not. But it becomes why we do and don't do literally everything. So, again, right, like swords, ideas, thoughts, mindset, it's also truth, like divine, objective truth. So, you know, 5s are transitionary energies. They're nothing to necessarily like pitch a tent and get stuck in. If you do have disagreements, and this could even just be like a disagreement about how you're doing things, or, you know, like the direction, because all these people are on different paths, right? So there might just be too many cooks and not enough chefs type of thing. But also, again, the message with this card is that everybody has an idea, but nobody's listening to each other. Because everybody feels like they're right. So, you know, I mean, it might just be a year of mental, because I also see this card as like a battle of wits. And it's interesting that what you can expect in 2024 is the Ace of Cups, because it says, do you feel that in your heart? That's potential, dear. So, personal theme, what you can expect. It's, you know, aces are new beginnings. It's something new coming into your life. Cups have to do with our emotions, how we feel about things, how we feel about our lives, how we feel about ourselves. There could be some sort of emotional breakthrough, but it's gonna come through some sort of conflict. potentially. Speaking of potential. But the Ace of Cups is full. Full to the top, to the point of overflowing. And once you get to that point, you realize like you do have the capacity to share it with other people, which is the Two of Cups. And I know we don't have the Two of Cups out on the table, but I mean, you have to have a full cup before you can pour that much from it anyway, right? So how to harness your inner power is the Ace of Swords. Look at you. You're bursting with sparkly new ideas. Again, right, it's an ace. So it's something new. It's a new idea coming in. It's new inspiration. It could be a new perspective. It could be discovering something new about yourself. Also, being in the position of how to harness your inner power, it's welcoming in a new idea. It's welcoming a new perspective. It's literally having an open mind. So, especially in relation to the Five of Swords, like just because you hear opinions, just because you keep an open mind, doesn't mean you have to, take those opinions as advice and do what, like take it on as like your own thing. Interestingly enough too, the right side of the card is future. The left side of the card is past. So the hand on the Ace of Cups is coming from the future position, which obviously, we're talking about the future, but this would be something that would be coming up. Whereas the Ace of Swords, it could be an idea that you are re-exploring, or like an old idea that you consider again. Or just something from the past is coming back up in your consciousness. Again, it could be a truth about yourself. Because I was saying over here, it could be some sort of emotional breakthrough, which would change a perspective on something from the past. That's kind of interesting. What you're leaving behind in 2023 is the Eight of Swords, which is gorgeous. I love that. It says stop overthinking it and just do it. The Eight of Swords is like a self-inflicted mind prison. It's like when we stress ourselves out over like all of the what ifs, like we're worried about making the wrong decision. There's too many options to choose from. We don't know what we want to do. But so I was watching Matrix Resurrections, I believe, the newest one that just came out. I think, was that 2021? And I think it was the White Rabbit. I don't know what her name is in the movie, but she says to Neo, because I think he said, do I have a choice? And she says something along the lines of, that choice is just an illusion. You already know what you have to do. That's the Eight of Swords. Because, again, it's like getting lost in the choices, getting lost in the options, when ultimately you already know what you want to do, and those other things are things that you think you should do. So it's like shoulding all over yourself. I should do this because maybe it would open up more opportunities. I should do this because that's what's expected out of me in my family, my culture, my whatever. I should do this, but ultimately, like deep down, you're like, I know I want to do this though. And I can't allow myself to do that. Because again, even the Five of Swords, I think I mentioned it. I don't even know. It's been, 10 minutes, and I'm like, I already forgot what we were talking about at the beginning. But it could be that this Conflict is because, again, there's too many cooks, not enough chefs. So too many people have opinions, and you're like, I already know what I want to do. And they're like, yeah, but but it does create this energy of the Eight of Swords, because then it's like, again, like you're thinking about all of these shoulds. You're thinking about what would they do? What would make these people happy about my decision, type of thing. And being in a position of what you're leaving behind, you are going to just do it. You're going to stop overthinking, or the energy is available to do that, basically. And I love that that is a card that is in what you are leaving behind in 2023, because like just being stuck in that indecision, feeling like there's no way out, feeling like you don't have a choice when you do. And the lesson that you learned in 2023 is a Page of Swords. It says curiosity is a type of magic. And, there's this person standing on top of this hill. There's one of those like free libraries that are, kind of around neighborhoods and stuff. And again, with the swords, right? We have literally 4 swords cards out here. Very mentally dominated here, which, too, in the realm of human design, we don't make decisions from our head center because it's a pressure center. And we don't make decisions from pressure. We make decisions from our strategy and authority. So regardless of if you have a defined head or not, there's information or an idea or whatever that's dropped into your consciousness, and immediately there's this pressure behind it to do something with it, when most times there's nothing that you need to do with it right away anyway, especially not before you let it sink down into your body and allow it to go through the filter of your strategy and authority, and allow that to give you a yes or no as far as like acting on it or not. Maybe it's something that you just file away and it comes back up when the time is ready. Like I was saying with the Ace of Swords and the sword coming out of, or, from the left side of the card, which is the past, right? Because, just having it filed away, having it somewhere in your consciousness, eventually when the time is right to act on that idea, or even to share it with whoever needs to hear it, right? Because maybe that's the purpose of the idea, is that it needs to come from you. Like somebody needs to hear it from somebody else, right? So it's dropped into your consciousness. Eventually you're having this conversation with whoever, and they're like, or you're like, oh my gosh, there's this idea that I heard, or that I, whatever that I thought of, maybe it would work for you. And they're like, oh my God, that's perfect. Or, like again, somebody shares an idea with you and it goes through your strategy and authority and it's a yes for you. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do that. Right? So, that's a Page of Swords. Pages are new. They're the younger energies. So there's, kind of like a newbie feel to them. It's like it's picking up a book and learning something new. It could be going to school. And, especially with the Eight of Swords being what you are leaving behind and what you learned in 2023 being the Page of Swords, it could have been discovering what it is that you do want to learn. Because again, right, swords, our mind, it's intellect. She's picking up books here. So it's like just filling yourself up with knowledge. I think in the book for this deck, it says something along the lines of like, can they publish books as fast as I read them? because it's like being that sponge. It's wanting to learn everything that you can about a thing. And it's also allowing yourself to be new, because even with the Ace of Swords and proximity to it, and especially the Ace of Swords being how to harness your power, too, it's like putting new ideas into practice. Putting what you learned into practice. Does it work or not? With the Page of Swords. The challenge you'll face in 2024 is the Five of Wands. Wands have to do with action. It's the motivation behind the actions that we take, creativity, passion. How are we communicating those things? What actions are we taking towards those things? I also see Wands as being the suit of information, because that's what we get by trying things. We discover what works, what doesn't work, what do we like, what don't we like, and that's all information. So on the Five of Wands, again, it says a good coven lets every witch have a say. And again, like they're actually in the process of arguing on this card. And this being in the challenge position, and with your overall theme being the Five of Swords, and it was talking about a disagreement also, like realize or recognize like the importance of being seen. Most people, they just want to be seen. They just want to be heard, right? I mean, imagine how you feel when you're not being seen or you're not being heard, right? Like, and if you don't have the capacity or the desire or the want to hear other people out, it's kind of like you can't expect to be heard by other people that you're not willing to hear also, you know? It's so interesting, you know, that we have the two fives out here, and the two fives that are talking about conflict, mental and action. Like this would be, again, you know, considering like ideas, brainstorming, and the Five of Wands would be deciding what to do. How do we do it? We have these ideas, we have these brainstorming, whatever. Now, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? But again, it's like nobody is listening to each other. So just be aware of that, you know, and like, and if you find yourself in conflict, because I mean, at some point every year, there's going to be conflict with somebody, right? I mean, it just is what it is. It's life. But if or when you do find yourself in conflict, whether that is, you know, with the people around you, with work or whatever, you know, just allow yourself to open your mind, like allow, first of all, it's like, you know, the awareness that this is happening, right? It's the awareness that you're just shutting down because you're like, I don't want to hear it. I'm not interested. I already know what I want to do. I have this idea. I don't need to hear other ideas. I already know because I'm right. And then this card being in the challenge position, I don't need opinions on how to do it from other people. So again, it's like recognizing when this is happening and allow yourself to soften a little bit, even if in your mind you're like, I already know what I'm going to do. So this is a total waste of time, even hearing people out. Well, yeah, you know, it might be to you, but to them it's not. And again, too, it's like putting yourself in other people's shoes where you're like, how would I feel if I was this other person and I wasn't being heard or my ideas weren't being recognized? You know, like how would I feel? Would I want to be around this person? It's so interesting, it being in the challenge that you'll face in 2024. Especially It's under the Ace of Swords, which, I mean, the spread isn't designed to be, like top down or bottom up or whatever, but it's just the way that the cards, came out. And it's this disagreement that's happening around this idea. And then the guidance for the year ahead is the Eight of Cups. It says, if your life feels stale, explore some new scenery. Also, there's the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Cups, like right on top of each other too, which is interesting how that even happened. And interestingly enough, too, I have the deck like to the right of the spread, and it was kind of like the top couple cards were, kind of offset or whatever. So I picked it up, and it's the Nine of Cups. Which is interesting because obviously the Nine of Cups comes after the Eight of Cups, and the whole thing with the Eight of Cups is that they're making a decision to move towards what brings them joy, to move towards their desires, what wish fulfillment is for them. So it is leaving behind what is no longer serving you. So even part of this process in here too, the reason or purpose, because everything, there's no accidents, there's no coincidences, right? Like everything that shows up around us is for us. It's an opportunity for us, right? Which goes to mindset if we see it that way. But it only, like, conflict only gets us closer to clarity, whether that's clarity within ourselves, clarity within our group of people and our relationships in whatever aspect. So with the the Eight of Cups, I almost said Ace of Cups, but I just looked at it when the Eight of Cups is allowing yourself to move towards your joy. It's recognizing that there's nothing left in these 7 cups, or even 8, actually. Hello, 8 of Cups. Oh my gosh. Can I count? No. So all of these water bottles are empty, right? So it's time to move on to, like, you've already used up, I guess, the energy of whatever was in these 8 of Cups. They have served their purpose. And it's time to move forward. It's time to allow follow your heart. And interestingly enough, Ace plus 8 is 9. I don't know. That's interesting. But what you can expect in 2024 is the Ace of Cups, your overall guidance for the year ahead is the 8 of Cups, like allowing yourself to even get clear on what your desires are. Because again, I was just saying this, but I feel like I just made the connection again. The whole purpose, if there is a lot of conflict or even some conflict that is, like just it stands out or it's substantial, whatever, in 2024, the whole purpose of that is to get you clear on what it is that you desire. What is your ultimate, like your dream life, kind of look like? It's just that unfortunately, sometimes it takes conflict to get clear on that. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.